Discussion.
City of Lawrence Police Merit Board Commission will come to order at 18:02 hours. Karen, would you lead us in Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I see we have Bob on Zoom. Yep. Just to kind of test, Bob, can you hear us okay? Bob? Okay, it appears Bob is still connected to the audio, so we'll check back on that. At this point, we have a quorum in person anyway. So we'll go ahead and proceed, and we'll check on Bob here in a minute. Is that still? Okay. Members' comments from the commission. Ron?
None.
Karen?
Nope.
Myself, none. Bob, are you on board yet? All right, we see you there, but we can't hear you. Okay, we'll keep going here. If you have something, just let us know, Bob, and we'll come back to you. At this point...
Come over here and use this, Bob.
Okay. Bob, you there?
Speak to him and see if he hears you.
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, I'm here.
Okay, great. Any issues, we'll hang by with you. Since Bob is on that, everything's going to be a roll call vote tonight.
Correct.
So, just so people are aware. So at this point, we have the minutes for the previous meeting, October 17th, 2022. Does anybody have any corrections, additions from the advance notice you were given? None showing. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from meeting October 17th. Do you have a first?
Second.
I have a first and a second. And so we'll have to do a roll call on that. Ron?
Yes.
Karen?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, sir. Myself,
Aye.
So roll call vote, and that is approved unanimously. There's no unfinished business. Next item under new business will be item number A, approval of the 2023 meeting schedule. It's pretty much standard that we've had in the past, except again for our October meeting, we have to move due to the holiday. Again, does any members of the commission have any additions, corrections, or conversation on that? None being, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the 2023 meeting schedule as published.
So moved.
I have a first, I have a second.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Roll call vote, Ron?
Yes.
Karen?
Aye.
Bob? We seem to have some audio problems here according to the internet, and myself as an aye. It has enough to pass with 3 votes, so we will go ahead and approve that and move on till the technical difficulties can be corrected, since we have a quorum. Item number B, determining the minimum passing standards for the written exam for recruitment. Captain, if you would please, ma'am.
Good evening. So we implemented a new testing business, and for the most part, everybody really likes the way this is going. What they are recommending is that we do have a particular cutoff based on the ballot testing that they've done, which was an 82%. However, we need to account for the CSEMs, which they give different levels for that, which is basically the level of difficulty on a test. So they're giving a 1, 2, and 3, which of course changes the percentages. We as a department would like to recommend going with the level 3, so 70% and above. Any candidate that 70% or above would move on. That is what we're recommending.
I may interrupt just a moment. Bob, do we have you back yet, sir? Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'm going to periodically check to see if we got him. Go ahead, ma'am.
So that is what we would like to offer as the minimum standards for the Merit Commission to establish. Again, there is 3 choices for the Merit Commission to establish.
And this is for the, just to recap, this is for the oral interview section.
This is the written exam section.
Okay.
You're recommending level 3, 70%?
Bob, are you back yet? Okay. For those present in chambers, does anybody have any discussion?
Here.
Hand me this one.
You have to talk through it, Bob, when you talk to them.
So you're gonna ask them about the meeting schedule?
Phone.
Okay. Bob, are you back with us, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you okay?
Yes, sir, we are. We did a vote reference the acceptance of the meeting schedule. At this point, it was 3 in favor. We need your vote for roll call, sir.
I vote aye.
Okay, can you repeat, sir? We were not able to hear what you said.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, sir. We are now on to item B of the agenda, where the captain is asking us to approve the item 3 for the written exam. That is correct. Okay. And we were opening for discussion. Do you have any discussion while we have you? Okay, well, we're still working on that.
I have a quick question on it, if I may. So these CSIMs, I guess, CSEMs?
Yes.
Okay. So the level of difficulty?
So it's for the errors, like just human errors. This
Okay.
is how it's created.
Okay.
And they do testing with people that have experience within the job specifications.
Right.
That gives them their average, which I believe was 80, 82.
80-something, right.
So what they're saying is just
Yeah, that's
human
right.
error,
Uh-huh,
you have different levels. There's a level 1, 2, and 3.
right.
And based on human error, they're allowing you to get those percentages either super high or lower. And we're
Okay.
saying going to the 3, which is acceptable. That is still average.
Uh-huh.
That's what our department would like to recommend to the mayor.
Okay. How does this compare to, like, last year, or the previous years of?
+1 317
So
507
the previous business that would do this for us does the exact same thing. We just never saw all of the details.
Gotcha,
Because that was their job.
gotcha.
But because the department has taken on the responsibility of this company is providing us with the data or the testing, they have to explain to us the breakdown of everything.
Okay,
So it's still their responsibility to do the valid testing to make sure it's within the federal guidelines, which is.
so we're just saying, this is the test we want. This is what we want it to look like. Out of these 3 options, this is our benchmark for you to use in your testing.
Correct.
Thank
And
you.
this will stay the same because of the company we've gone to. This is now going to be our testing criteria
Standard, gotcha.
until we change.
Sure.
I mean, this,
Yeah.
we know is for 365 days,
Yeah.
but this was the criteria.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Not to belabor why you guys were discussing that, I was trying to figure a way we could still do this where he will actually be logged in. I was going to try to get him on speakerphone so we would have communication, but that failed. So we'll keep moving on and see
Okay.
what we can go from here. Ron, do you have any discussion, sir?
No, sir, I'm done.
Okay. We'll try one more time. Bob, are you there, sir?
Aye.
Okay. Bob, if you can hear me, I just tried to call your cell phone. We might have a better connection, me putting you on speaker. Stay logged on, because we see you've got 2 log-ons here. That way we can keep communication going, because you're breaking up terribly.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay, sir, I will try.
He has to be on this to vote, so,
Right, as long as he's on this,
yeah.
we'll be good. So we'll try to do a workaround here, so I'll try calling you again, sir. I apologize, Captain. Technology is wonderful.
117 507 6653.
That's me, Bob. Because we got him here, we also have him logged on here. You there, sir? Nope. Okay.
yeah, he said it doesn't matter. Jared said it doesn't matter if we can see him.
Did he give you a number?
Right.
It's the same number.
Okay. Bob, could you have your wife, I need you to stay logged on. That is very important. That number I just called you at, could you maybe have your wife on another phone call me on that number? That way we will be fulfilling the requirements of having you logged in, but we'll have better communication using the cell phone. I'm hoping you heard that. I have no idea.
Did it right. Now call him.
Try one more time. Call from, great. Bob, are you there, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yes, could you put Bob on, please?
I will.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
Wonderful. Okay, I believe we've got this worked out, folks. We still have you logged in via the Zoom, which is required, but we're using an alternate form of the cell phone to get your vocals so we can have your proper vote. So at this point, we're on line item B. The presentation has been to accept the CSEM of number 3, which will put the written exam at 70%. We have had discussion in-house. Do you have any discussion, sir?
No, I don't have any discussion on it.
Okay, sir. At this point, the chair will then entertain a motion to accept the captain's request of a CSEM 3 for the written exam at 70%. This will be a roll call vote. We'll start with you, Bob.
I will make a motion to adopt as our standard
Thank you, ma'am.
CSEM 3 for this next batch of recruits or for the following year. Yeah.
And I will accept that. I have a first. Do I have a second?
Yes, second for me.
No, say that again, Karen.
Move to adopt as our standard CSEM 3.
For the 365 days?
For 365 days.
Yes.
That way, as
Contract.
long as, yeah, as long as the contract
Yes,
exists.
that's better.
And ma'am, thank you. I was so worked up trying to get Bob included. I appreciate that. I got off track. Thank you, ma'am. That's why we work so well. We're a team.
That's right.
We work well together. Okay, so we have a first, we have a second. Now we need a vote. Bob?
Aye.
Aye. Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Carries unanimously. Moving on. Filing the written examination results. Captain?
With the minimum standards being decided, that would recommend that 6 of the 6 applicants that participated in the written exam move on to the oral interview minimum standards.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Any discussion, Bob?
No.
Ron?
No.
Karen?
No.
Okay. No,
Recommend 6, move on to,
Oral interview
okay.
minimum standards.
no discussion. The chair would entertain a motion to accept the written examination results of 6 candidates moving on to the oral interview phase. Do I have a first?
So moved.
Ron, we have a first. Karen?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Now we go to a roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Carries unanimously. We have that. Item number D, or letter D, pardon me, determining the minimum passing standards for the oral interview. And that was on the other bit of data that we have here. And Captain?
So we are recommending to accept, they give 3 different levels when it comes to the oral interview. 1 is the outstanding, 2 is acceptable, 3 is unacceptable. We are recommending to accept acceptable and outstanding candidates within the oral interview as the minimum standards.
Pardon me, ma'am, you said you're wanting to accept both outstanding and acceptable? So
Correct.
It's both of
So
those sections?
basically, anything that, or any score that is above 60%,
I believe that's what it says here. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Above
Okay.
what?
60% and above.
60. Above 60, so it's going to be both of these.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you hearing okay, everything okay from us, Bob? I want to be sure you're being informed properly.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it all.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Okay, at this point, is there any discussion on the captain's recommendation? Ron? Karen? Bob?
No.
And myself, no. So I will now entertain a motion to accept the captain's recommendation for accepting outstanding and acceptable levels in the oral interview, correct?
Minimum standards.
For minimum standards, again, for the length of the contract. So do I have a first?
So moved.
Second? We have a first and a second, Karen and Ron. And we'll go to a roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Carries unanimously. Moving on. Filing the oral interview results. Ma'am?
Based on the approved minimum standards for the oral interview, we will have 4 applicants, candidates, moving on to the background investigations, removing 2 who were below the minimum standards. And that is a part of the Excel sheet, which the candidate numbers are on there, Kathy, if you need that.
Yes, ma'am. All right, any discussion on that request? Ron?
No.
Karen?
No.
Bob?
No.
Okay, none from me. At this point, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendation from the captain, moving on 4 to the background investigation from this list. I hear a motion to Ron first,
Second.
Karen second. Move to a roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Again, approved unanimously. For letter F, determining selection criteria, recommend to give a 0.5 for each section. Again, in the information that you've been given, they go in to explain in detail how that will be distributed according to IC code, and really substantial there. Anything you would like to add to that, Captain, or is it pretty much?
The only thing we do add outside of the IC code is the Tier 1 graduate from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy.
Okay.
That is the one that we add to the state law requirement.
Okay. And any discussion on this request?
Tier 1 graduate from,
Indiana Law Enforcement
From
Academy.
ILEA.
Any discussion on this request? Ron? Karen?
No.
Bob says no, and I say no. Therefore, I will entertain a motion to accept her recommendation. Ron's the first,
Second.
Karen's the second. Now move to a roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Aye. Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Again, carries unanimously. All right, since you're here on behalf of the department, we'll go ahead and move on. Is there any information or goodwill from the chief you were given to pass on to us, ma'am?
I'm going to give more of the hiring process
Okay.
information, more than just what the chief, I'm sure he would come in here and say a lot more than I, but as you know, we're trying a whole new system. It is working out. I can tell you that the department, with the assistant of Lieutenant Scott Evans and Officer Matt Williams, they have really been able to stay on top of our applicants. Lieutenant Evans has dedicated the last 3 weeks of pretty much stalking our candidates to make sure they're going to show. What was disappointing was no matter how many phone calls, no matter how many times they guaranteed us they were going to be there, things just happen. We've had people be sick. We've had people get offers from somewhere else. But I feel like the department is doing their part to try to get these applicants. That said, we are going to start another one in January, which, just based on the numbers, we know we need to hire 9 people by January 1st. We just put 4 through, that's it. So we know we need to start. We know our list is going to be exhausted. So I just at least want to recognize Lieutenant Evans and Officer Matt Williams, FOP President Brandon Rafferty. He has been by my side in this whole thing, trying to get the Merit Commission rules changed, getting this company on board, which will allow us to get more hiring processes done. So I at least wanted to extend that to the Merit Commission and let them know that I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken from my reading, we are not going to have to revote on you again. You will be able to continue this through January, or if you need another one.
Yeah,
till
so
we cycle the
January
year.
9th, I believe, is our next scheduled meeting for after the year. I'll come before the board to have the list be an eligibility list, and then certify with the Board of Works. And then we just move on. We'll keep moving, because that'll be the last phase for you guys until we start the next one.
the
We'll be
next one.
back.
All right, Bob, any questions or discussion reference captain statements? Okay.
No.
Ladies, gentlemen, nothing? Okay. With that, we will go ahead and move on. Our next stated meeting is our December 12th meeting at 6 o'clock, same time, same place. And then, of course, we have our new schedule starting in January that we will be following. If we are notified of anything, of any impromptu nature from the captain or the chief, we will make sure everybody's notified and try to make accommodations the best that we can. We are coming into the holidays where everybody is just super duper busy, but we will do our best to do the business of the department the best way we can. And with that, no objections, I will adjourn at 6:23. Thank you.